Welcome to video podcast number 30, part 2 of 2. The first roughly 10 minutes of this part 2 will be available on YouTube as kind of a preview. But in order to view the remainder of part 2 of video podcast number 30, you will have to be at least a $5 patreon.com subscriber. You will have to be at least a $5 Patreon subscriber. And I appreciate all my Patreon subscribers and financial supporters. My ebooks are available on Amazon.com as well as directapproachdating.com/books. My paperbacks, same two websites, Amazon.com and directapproachdating.com/books. My audiobooks are available on audible.com, audible.com. That's the audiobook division of Amazon.com. And you can also find more information about my audiobooks on my main website, which is Direct Approach Dating, all is one word, directapproachdating.com. I'll have all the links in either the description section below, or the comment section. I'm thirsty in the mud, so I've already drank about 2/3 of this bottle. This is my second favorite flavor. It's called lemon squeezed. Lemon squeeze is my second favorite flavor. And man, I was thirsty today, so yeah, 2/3 of this is already gone. I want to start off talking to my most loyal and enthusiastic fans, followers, financial supporters, and Patreon subscribers, readers of my ebooks and paperbacks, listeners of my audiobooks, and clients, current and former clients. Now, I know you've been listening to a lot of video podcasts where I had somewhat of a harsh tone to my voice. And if not a harsh tone, maybe I was doing a lot of egotistical trash talking. I think this goes without saying, but that's not directed at you. I think you know that. For my fans, followers, financial supporters, current and former clients, love you guys. I'm here for you. I'm always willing to provide you with a great deal of knowledge, wisdom, insight, in general dating and relationships advice. So rarely, if ever, are my rants, my harsh rambles, my admonishments directed at you, because you are the guys who keep me going, who keep my motivation up, and I got nothing but love and respect for you. But, anytime you're in the public eye and you got at least some degree of popularity, you're going to have haters, you're going to have critics, you're going to have doubters, and you're going to have people who try to just, if nothing else, distort your message. And so when I do the videos where I'm talking a lot of shit and I'm laying guys out, that's who that's directed towards. My haters, my doubters, my critics, and those who intentionally or unintentionally distort my Mo 1 message. So again, that's not directed at you guys. What I'm going to talk about in part 2, among other things, is the concept of being nice, or even more so, too nice. Here's kind of my formula for that. If you're too flattering, too quickly, too lenient, too consistently, and too accommodating excessively, then that means you're too nice. Too nice. And a lot of you guys, because of your social programming, your brainwashing by maybe your mother, your aunts, your sisters, some factions of society in general, will have you believing that the ideal way to go is to always present yourself as a very likable guy, a very pleasant and polite guy, a very easy to get along with guy, a guy who says all the nicest of well-mannered comments. And the good news is a lot of women will tilt their head, bat their eyes a little bit, and say, Brian, you're so sweet. You're such a sweetheart. You're such a nice guy. But guess what that means when that woman tilts her head and speaks in that light voice, complimenting you on how nice and sweet you are? That means that 9 times out of 10, you ain't going to get your dick sucked. And you ain't going to get no pussy. And if in the maybe 5 to 10% chance that you're lucky enough to share a bed with that woman, is only going to be within the context of marriage or within the context of a long-term boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. As far as any type of short-term and or non-monogamous casual sex, it ain't going to happen for you. Now, some of you guys, that might not be your objective. You might not be interested in either short-term sex and or non-monogamous sex. Your specific objective might be to find your wife and find your next long-term girlfriend. And I'm not hating on you for that. If that's your objective, more power to you. The only thing I would say, I don't know if I'm the most ideal dating coach for you to follow, if that is your only objective, is to find your future wife or your next long-term. I wouldn't say I exclude that from my dating coaching, but that's definitely not a emphasized area of mine. Because the truth of the matter is, as far as being the proverbial nice guy, you can be a nice guy and find your wife. Women are looking for nice guys to marry because they know you're going to be easy to get along with. They know you're going to be generally financially generous with them. And for the most part, they know they're going to be able to easily influence your behavior and manipulate your behavior to their liking. So if you want to be Joe Nice Guy, there's at least minimum of 40 to 50% chance you'll find your wife and you'll find you a long-term girlfriend. Because women are always in the market for the proverbial nice guy who's usually a beta male, or what I refer to as a beta male. And I already pretty much defined it. You know, anytime you're a man whose behavior is very easy to influence, easy for women to influence, easy for women to control, in some cases easy for you to be dominated by a woman, easy for you to be manipulated by a woman, it means you're a beta male. It means you're a beta male. Is that totally a bad thing? Again, it depends on what your objectives are. I would argue that for marriage and long-term relationships, not necessarily. Not necessarily. You know, it just depends on what you're looking for from a relationship. Now, I can tell you with full conviction, if you're looking for short-term and or non-monogamous sex from a woman, and you're a beta male, your chances are between slim and none of getting a woman in bed, unless you're tricking. Unless you're tricking. That's your only option to get casual sex like non-relationship sex from a woman, if you're a beta male, is if you trick it. For those not familiar with that term, tricking means anytime you are offering women financial assistance, financial compensation, financial favors, financial support in exchange for their sexual companionship. The most common example would be paying money for a street prostitute, paying money for a professional call girl, paying money for an upscale erotic escort, being a sugar daddy and having a sugar baby, and any variation of those things. That's tricking. You know, that's not being a ladies' man. That's not being a player or a womanizer. That's being a trick. There's a lot of beta males who are financially generous tricks. So if you want to go that route, you can. You know. Now, when it comes to prostitutes, of course, that's illegal in every state in the United States except for many counties in Las Vegas. But, you know, guys know how to circumvent that. In these days, a lot of dating is an indirect form of prostitution. Let's just be real. Like if a woman demands that you take her on 3, 4, 5 dates to a 5-star restaurant before she'll have sex with you, she's essentially a variation of a call girl. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. So, you know, there are ways for beta males to be successful in long-term relationships. And again, if you're financially generous, there's ways for beta males to be successful for casual sex. But if you want to be successful with casual sex in the area of short-term and or non-monogamous casual sex without spending a significant amount of money on a woman, then you need to listen to the remainder of this part 2 of Video Podcast 30.
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
Yes, sir.
Who's the king?
Alan, you're the king.
Say it again.
Alan, you're the king. You're dominating me.
Say it again.
Alan, you're dominating me right now. Mode 1.
Mode 1.
Daddy, can I go, please? You're the king.
Say it again.
Oh, you're the fucking king. Yes. Yes. Yes.
You're the king, Alan.
AKA the king of verbal seduction. You know, it's the tone of your voice, how seductive your intonations are, the vibrations that you could just reach out over the phone lines and stroke a woman's breast just by the sound of your voice, how you could make her pussy so wet just by the sound of your voice. That's actually very hot.
So you said my show was what?
I said your show is powerful.
Oh, say it again.
Your show is powerful.
I bet the king would fuck me really good.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie. The king.
The king.
The king.